Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this September the 14th, 2025. And I just wanted to show you a little bit about the power of investing. So this will let you move see what your retirement would be, right? So say we put that our yearly salary is to make things easy. Say we say it's $70,000 a year is your yearly salary, and you're putting 25% into your 401k, right? You can see by the time you're 67, it's saying you could have 2.225 million, right? $2.25 million. And that's me right now. My current right now, what I have in here, what's the balance? We'll see the balance after. I think it's $112,000 is the current balance. So it's saying if I make 70 grand a year every year and don't get a raise and the salary stays the same, and I put in 25% of that a year into this 401k, it's saying by the time I'm 67, it'll be 2.25 million. It's currently at 112. And it says the earliest you can be is 45. So we'll put 45 on here, right? 25%. So it's saying I'm gonna be 45 in 5 years. So it's saying it's saying my account in the next 5 years will increase by 178,000 dollars, right? Now be just under $300,000. But as the years go on and the money gets bigger and the market continues to go up, the money goes up quicker every year. It goes up quicker and quicker. And you can see 10 years from now, it's saying I should go from $112,000 to over $500,000, just over $500,000 in 10 years from today. So we'll keep tracking it. And uh, it's been going according to how they say down years, but the good years it averages into around 10% a year. Even if you have 20% down years, then you get five straight bull. It just averages out to be up. But I thought this was very interesting to show you, and you can see, look at so from the time it's saying I should increase my wealth. $380,000 the next 10 years, but then let's go from 50 to 60. We go from $500,000 to when we get to 60. Now we've increased ourselves to 1.2 million. So we've increased our account by $700,000 plus, one and a quarter, almost one and a half times the next time, right? Now let's see what we'd go to if we were 70. It goes to 2.7 million, right? So you've over doubled, way over doubled again, right? From 1.2, you've almost tripled it. So I thought that was very interesting. And oh, see what the account is right now because this is my retirement, but it gives you that option to see. And you can see here you go. It's at $113,099.03. December 31st of 2024, it was at $85,000. March 31st, $92,000. June 30th, $104,000. September 12th, $113,000. So you can see from it from j- less than a year, December 31st will be a year. Right now, we're already up 13, 20. We're up almost $30,000 in the calendar year. Yes, I do study and every week. A percentage comes out of my check and goes into here, and you can see the accounts, the things that I own: Causeway International Value Fund, American Euro Pack R6, and Vanguard Equity Income, and that's a U.S. stock, right? So they're up 20.32% this year. So it's very interesting. And that's part of what we do here. And part of the reason I'm trying to get as many people educated, as many people to follow this channel, as many people as possible that at least can hear it and maybe get some insight and education and information that they haven't heard or seen before or aren't thinking of based on the material that they're following, because it's all about steady long-term investing to get wealthy. That's how all the wealthy people did it, whether they were using their businesses that they created to invest with too, or their business was their investment. They put it all in to start their own thing, and that was their investment. And then they start reaping the dividends if it becomes successful and grows, right? Or you invest in real estate or assets, stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, not ETFs. I don't like ETFs, but mutual funds. I guess they are sort of ETFs, but good ones that have been around a long time. And then you steadily invest into it over time, whether it comes out weekly, monthly, however you do it. Mine in my 401k comes out weekly and buys weekly at all varying prices, right? We got the gold and silver investments. You can see silver again, gold, something just took off. Silver just jumped 1%. Gold just almost at $3,700. It's up 1.0%. Kinross Gold is making a run to 24. First Majestic Silver's on the move. Fortuna Silver's on the run. Silver's on the run. Silver's on the run. I've been trying to tell you guys this. Study investing, buying asset appreciating things in a dollar depreciating world. Pan America Silver's up 110% now. First Majestic Silver's up nearly 60%. Hecla Mining is going crazy. Ollie Varden and Silver Corp are going crazy. Everything's on the move, baby. And it's because we buy asset appreciating things. Gold futures has hit $3,700, a new all time high. Gold spot price, an all time high. Silver closed at a 14-year high, only $8 away from its all time high. B2 Gold is going to skyrocket. It's going to be at $10 before you know it. Kinross Gold was at $3, and I told you it'd be at 20 and then 30, and it is now at 23. First Majestic will be at 20 in a blink of an eye. Fortuna Silver will be at 15. Pan America's going to 50. Rivian, we're hoping to just slowly start the inch towards closer to profitability over the next 2 years. That's a long-term play. Barrick Gold's going to 50. Hecla Mining, I thought would be at 15 next year. It might hit it by the end of the year. Dolly Varden will be at 7 or 8. Silver Corp will be at probably $8 to $9. And very quickly, as things are moving, things are skyrocketing. And that's the important thing that we buy here. We buy asset appreciating things in a chronic dollar depreciating environment. And you can see the dollar is now at 97.32. It's threatening to break out of its regional low. And if it does, it's threatening to come down to some of these very, very low levels that haven't been seen in 10 years. So you got record highs in gold, 14-year highs in silver. Copper's at a record high, and you might be throwing an insult to injury where you might be looking at a US dollar index approaching a 10 or 15 or 20-year low from the end of the last financial crises, which would exacerbate, and this is the importance of the education, that would exacerbate uh, the inflation in this country and hurt the middle class and poor and put more people into poverty, put more people living paycheck to paycheck and not being able to make their monthly bills due to the dollar losing so much value and the inflation that's going to be caused. And this is going to get very bad, but it's going to increase assets. And that's the information and the education you need to understand that how this really works. And they don't teach you that in the schools. So you have to surround yourself with people that understand and know it and are willing to learn, listen, and teach. Right. And that's why we listen to people and learn from Peter Schiff's, Mike Maloney's, Jim Rickards, right? Milton Freeman, all these kinds of guys. Austrian economics. That's what we learn. We learn Austrian economics, right? Because it's how it works, and it's leading us into becoming asset millionaires, right? Yes, cryptocurrencies, which is the smallest of our holdings, our vast majority of our net worth is in our real estate, our 401k, our gold and silver bullion and mining stocks, right? Right, cash, earning, and CDs and bonds, stocks. And then we have a small percentage in crypto because I'm the least confident in the crypto. That's why my channel is crypto investing, right? And the Fed's going to lower interest rates. That's why the video I made earlier today was titled Volatility Warning, because the Fed will be lowering unless they pull a shock of all shocks, which I don't believe they would do because a lot of the markets would tank if they didn't lower rates. You can see the Bitcoin price is sitting just below its multi 3.5+ year pattern support. It's sitting just above the 50-day moving average at 113,000 in the daily time frame. What you're looking at here this week is when the Fed makes its decision, they're going to have a meeting. I think it's today and tomorrow, and then Wednesday is when they actually release to us what they have found in the afternoon. If this has the big pump, you'll see a you'll see a if this has a positive reaction to the news and the market for cryptos takes it as bullish. bullish, you'll see a run up near the all-time high very quickly to be a quick pump, just like it did when it got back into the rising channel. Conversely, if it takes the bearish sentiment and we confirm this now as a breakdown, you would at first come back down to your regional low. And then if it slipped that, which the 200-day is just below that, that's when you would fall very fast, and it could have a quick fall based on the news this week with the volatility all the way to 95,000. That's why there's a volatility warning issued by Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, because we could have a from current price on the little red dots, a swing as much as 9% to the upside or as much as 16% to the downside. That's a big, big swing where we could go based on the volatility and based on if we break out of a 3.5+ year pattern support rising channel, which would overall change the structure of the short to medium term pattern. And that would bring some of these lower lows that you see 79,000 and 95. And 95 is the weekly time frame 50-day moving average. 79 is the weekly time frame 100-day moving average, right? So that's very interesting to pay attention to. And that's why we are talking about it and paying attention to it. The same thing with the Ethereum price. We talked about it earlier. You can see our mini uptrend that we've had that we bounced off of recently. We now have what appears to be a Jagi quasi triple top where you have three tops up at the same area, right? And a consolidation near and just along or above the neckline support, megaphone neckline support, and the 50-day moving average, which is now sneaked above, just above it. Um, if you fall back down to here, and you fail to hold this uptrend, that's when you come back down now to the 4104, and then you're going to run up into that, right? So that's something that could very well happen, and that's something that we're paying attention to see if that actually does happen. And if it does, that would be where you either A, look for a nice reactionary bullish bounce off of it, or B, it gets bearish and actually fails to hold it, and a negative thing happens with the volatility this week, and you end up near the 3476 level, which is the top part of a major green support and resistance box, which is just below the 100-day moving average, but just above the 200-day moving average. So that's what we're watching out for in the Ethereum price. The XLM price is the same thing. You can see we had a big drop off from all the way at about the 41 cents, and we crashed all the way back through the 50-day moving average. And now if you want to get bullish in the short term, you got to get on top of that 50-day moving average. If you don't, if you start to stagger out where you're at, even come back up and get rejected, you're going to come run into the 100-day moving average. But I think you would fail to hold that, and then it would be sitting on the top part of the screen support and resistance box, an area that back in late August and early September you actually rallied off of again from like the last time where you wicked. This time you traded on it. The next time I think you would break through and actually end up something like that where we had drawn out down to the 31 cents. And that is something that I'm paying attention for here in the short to medium term in the XLM price. To get bullish, obviously, you just got to get back on top of the 50, and then that can open the door to make a run up there at that overhead major short-term resistance at the 43 cents. XRP Healthcare, since we just scrolled by it, you can see a critical thing has happened since the last time we talked. Two options are going to happen. If we zoom out to the daily time frame, you can see with the XRP Healthcare, you are below a critical area. You pumped up, you held, then you pumped, came all the way back down. Now you're at that area again, and you're below this critical 0.04911. 911, ding, 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 right? Giving you an emergency signal there, and you're below that major support and resistance level. And the critical thing is now, if you can't, and you confirm below this, you will drop like a rock straight down to the 0.01834. If you confirm a rejection below this current resistance that you're under right now. To avoid that, you need to do this and jump back on top of this area and form a base and try to work your way up. That's how you avoid that. If you continue to stay below this, um, it's going to confirm a rejection and shift to overall pattern where you're breaking out of this rising channel where you've had three hits on upper resistance, three uh, clear differences. One, two, three. One, two, three on lower support. And a pattern, if you break the pattern, your technical target is down near where it started, which is the 0.018, or right around where this whole move started from, right? So that's something very interesting we're watching out for, and it's going to be very critical. The H bar is the same thing. You're just above the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame right now, or just below it actually on the wick, which is bearish. You need to get back above it to stay bullish. If you slip back below these three moving averages, the 15 cents is your likely scenario, right? If you stay above these three moving averages and you can hold this, a run up here is your likely solution, right? So that's what we're going to be watching for in H bar. XDC is the same thing. You can see these moving averages are now squeezing the price, is what you would expect after an extended consolidation, after a recent big pump that took you from about the 0.05 all the way up to just about the 10-cent level or slightly higher. You got these overhead moving averages squeezing like a snake in a boa constrictor the price. And what I would expect here now is if you can't get back above these moving averages, your next move down will be at least to this swing low. If you can squeeze out of this and get back on top, then you can try to squeeze back into a double topping situation and making another run at that 10.5 cents, right? So that's what we're looking at there. XRP, and then I gotta let you go. My lunch break is almost over. This video is extremely long because I went into a little preaching mode there. I apologize for that, but I gotta keep stressing